Jack. Here's Jack. Here's Jack.
Apparently, here's Jack. It's the Jack Henke Show from the Cedarburg Public Library's community room. This is the room where we commune, and sometimes we make radio while communing.
Very
Hi,
good.
Jack. How are you?
The big shots of the community are here today with us.
Without them, this community does not work.
That's right. And hello to the rest of Hooterberg, listening, I'm sure, with rapture at their computers.
Rapturous listeners we
Yes.
have now? All right.
Yes, absolutely.
Good. So introduce our guest today, Jack. I'm
Of
going to let
course.
you do that.
All right. First of all, we have the queen of the Cedar Creek Winery.
She's just the queen.
I wanted to see her what she would do, and she performed. She does what she always does, which is graciously smile and act like you're not an idiot, even though that's what she's thinking. But she's lovely. She's the queen. She's the one. I think you started winery. You started wine back whenever. You're the first person to ever think of wine from grapes. Is that right?
Thanks a lot.
I thought it was in the Bible, Jack.
Well, that was 20 years ago. There wasn't wine before that. Before that was just MD 2020.
Okay.
Jack's
Those
personal
are the
favorite.
glory days.
Right.
I like grape. Connie Niebauer is here from the Cedar Creek Winery.
Hi, Jack.
Hello. You want to say hello to your friends and family out there and fans everywhere?
Hello, friends and family and fans. Okay.
And then we have a man, I really didn't even meet him until he had converted to Hindu and changed his name to Jam Master Duge. I don't even really know your real name.
I don't think that's official yet.
You didn't tell your wife yet?
No.
Susie doesn't know?
Not at all.
Okay, and what's your real name?
My real name is Doug.
Doug. That's it?
Doug Baade.
Oh, Doug Baade. Okay. Well, thanks, Doug. Doug is the man who knows it all about alcohol, and he is the pig's man on the spot, and has been sending people in the right direction for how many years with the?
Hopefully.
pig?
I've been there about 9-10 years now.
Hopefully.
Hopefully sending them in the right direction.
Oh, okay. Well, that's up to them.
I don't know.
You give them good advice. But today is the last week was the alcohol-free, cuss-free version because we had everybody from the schools.
Oh, yeah.
here.
It was a very erudite show. We were way up there. Yeah, absolutely. You don't like erudite? How'd you love erudite?
Oh, God.
Erudition is you.
You're an erudite. Yeah, never
Go
mind.
ahead.
Never mind. But we have some very important VIPs here. We have Chris, the fiance of Dr. Johnny, and his mother as well. I don't know your name, ma'am. Murph. They are our most devoted fans. They're here every week.
Absolutely.
We also have you better introduce the
Well,
head of the Messerman mob.
They still don't believe I actually have a job, so they came down to see it live in person.
Well, you're not getting paid for this, though. This doesn't count.
It's my mom and dad,
Okay.
Howard and Sherry.
Howard and Sherry.
Yes, from Brown Deer, actually. They crossed county lines
Wow.
to get here.
Wow.
So
That's dedication.
we appreciate that.
They were
of course.
talking about their wonderful son.
Yes, yes.
But didn't say anything about
Didn't
you.
Say a word about me now.
No. What's the other son's name?
That would be Randall Mark Messerman.
He's the one who got to go to the ball game with your dad that
1982. Yeah, I got over it. Don't worry.
Oh, yeah. The World Series, one son gets to go and one becomes a library associate.
No bitterness here. Fine. Got over it.
See that.
$600 of therapy.
$600.
Nothing but the best for me.
And then we have the star of the internet and of the jewelry world, Patty Galoon Hansen here, who is recovered from her flu-like symptoms and gotten her Mr. Wonderful husband out of the hospital safely. So everything's back on track and going to be out online and hawking the jewelry. And you have a new line of jewelry, I understand, Patty. Facets by Dorothy Galoon, don't you recall? The new line, Facets by Dorothy Galoon?
Yeah,
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, don't
big.
look so surprised.
it's the Facets collection.
The Facets collection. I'm so sorry.
And
That-
you too could be a Facet collection jeweler
there you go.
if you do the right thing.
Okay.
Do the right thing.
Now you know that Patty didn't come to watch the show.
No.
She came to hawk.
See why you're here. Absolutely.
Well done.
Once again, that's Facets by
The Facets collection by Dorothy Galoon. Talk to Patty. So what do you got this week?
Got a little bit of business here we got to take care of. I think
What you got?
Oh, we got some interesting things. We keep tabs on the Cedarburg Uncensored page on Facebook.
But that is false. They censor each other.
Occasionally they do try to, but something big came down the pike, and I think we should talk about this. I'm a little worried about this. So a woman named Laura was watching the skies over Cedarburg on February 25th and found a black cloud.
You mean there was...
Right here, folks.
Wow. Like we didn't know there was a black cloud over Cedarburg for decades.
That's right. So anyway, she asks, did anyone happen to see the sky early this morning? The sky was gray and there were loads of black clouds floating, almost like Dementors from Harry Potter.
Wow.
Okay. So she tried to
She's
take
erudite.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and then she does mention that her husband saw it too, so she wasn't dreaming. And a fellow named Eric commented underneath and said, "Don't worry, it was my ex-wife who came in town for the week." So,
Wow.
So that went down really well.
Boom.
So that's big trouble. Beyond that, not much else going on, although I do have some interesting news about our friend, friend to the show, a man named Bud Lincoln.
Okay, well, we're not done with headlines yet.
Oh, you got something else?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, we'll turn to Bud in a bit. But this is big for Bud, I'm telling you.
Okay, I got the incredible shrinking news graphic with me.
Wow.
And on the front page, fun things to do this weekend in yesterday's paper. The very first thing.
Yeah.
You think it'd be a dance?
Sure.
A carnival?
Sure.
Alcohol somehow, right? Blood drive.
We're running low here at Cedarburg.
At a church in Mequon. And here's the key. Walk-ins are welcome.
I think there's a band called Vampire Weekend. I think that's what we're going to have here.
They prefer walk-ins to wheal-ins, I think.
Oh, good. That's very good. Excellent.
But I thought that caught my eye as a fun thing to do this weekend.
I'm wondering if we could do
That's
that
the first
here.
thing.
On live, radio, on air, blood drive.
Yeah, that is something.
Yeah, interesting.
I also saw the Ladies Who Lead. They had their luncheon this week.
The Ladies Who Lead led?
Yes. And one of our Ladies Who Lead led the luncheon by being the MC.
Oh, very good.
Meenal Ham.
Oh, absolutely. Friend to the show.
You know how she said how shy she is, and there she is emceeing Ladies Who Lead is such a bunch of crap.
I just
It's
hope she
funny.
didn't dress up like Prince.
Why not?
Well, okay, maybe she should have. I don't know.
Prince wore high heels,
Absolutely.
for God's sakes. And Julie Kosic, another friend of the show from the Cedarburg Education Foundation,
Right.
also was honored. So that's very cool.
That is a good thing. Absolutely.
And one more thing. There is a guy in Port Washington, I think, or West Bend. He was charged with making terrorist threats.
Oh, yeah? In port or outside of port?
I think it was West Bend.
So wait, he lives in port and decided to terrorize West
Well,
Bend?
here's the thing that caught me. They had a little description of the story.
Oh, sure.
And just almost a sign off, since he's a repeat offender, he's facing 9 years in prison.
Oh, so he terrorizes regularly.
Well, exactly. He didn't learn from the first round
I
of...
didn't think you could be a repeat. I mean, usually it's a one and done type of thing.
Well,
terrorism.
Yeah.
You know?
threatening to blow things up. Then he got vulgar on the phone, the woman said, who called it in. He was vulgar. He was a vulgar
I
terrorist.
would have had anything to do with the black cloud over Cedarburg.
No.
I don't know. Don't worry there. So, absolutely.
Well,
Interesting. Did you see what's going on in Newburgh this week? Very exciting stuff.
There's always very exciting stuff going on
Well,
in
it just so
Newburgh.
happens that the apparently on the Newburgh City website,
Village.
Village.
website.
Oh
Yes.
yeah, that's right. They haven't been promoted yet.
Yes.
They will. I got big high hopes for Newburgh. They apparently were selling Chinese pharmaceuticals on their website inadvertently. Did you see that? Now I got a lot of questions. I have nothing but questions.
First, we got Trump with the Russians.
Right.
Now we got the Newburgians,
Yes.
Newburgers with China.
Chinese pharmaceuticals.
Ah.
Thank you, Doc. I like that. So I'm a little worried about. I mean, again, what specifically is a Chinese pharmaceutical? And there are a few answers to that, but none of which that are legal.
And do they work?
And do they work?
It'll work. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink.
So on your way home from the show today, everybody, swing by Newburgh and see what you can pick up, and we'll
Tell
see.
why.
Absolutely.
Someone hacked their website.
Someone hacked their website. Yeah. Oh, I left that part out, didn't I?
Yes, that minor thing.
And as every single Facebook post on the Village of
Newburgh.
Newburgh, it begins with, "We regret to inform you." There isn't a single post from Newburgh that doesn't begin with, "We're sorry." So at least,
Well, I found one
least
from
they
just
feel bad.
12 hours ago. A new Newburgh
What
post.
happened now?
The Newburgh Plan Commission will be meeting next week for the first time since early 2019. They don't plan a lot in Newburgh, but they sell Chinese pharmaceuticals.
Which
Poor
takes some
Newburgh.
planning.
But you know what? We should approach them to sponsor the show. We practically
We're giving
the
so
tourism,
much lip service
yes,
here. I
the
tell
lip
ya.
service is right. And it was signed your friendly village clerk, which I thought was a nice touch.
Well, I think that might be overselling him a little bit. That's okay.
How can you oversell Newburgh? You can only undersell it. It's the other Whiteburg. We
that
talked
poor
about
clerk with garbage collection and rescheduling Thanksgiving.
We didn't even